It's been approximately 40 years since the death of a man, every person here came to know as one of the greatest leaders of the civil rights movement. His most familiar speech, the I Have a Dream speech, delivered on the steps of the Lincoln Memorial, reiterated the notion of equality envisioned by the Declaration of Independence. Reverend King believed this note was a promise that all men, yes, black men, as well as white men, would be guaranteed unalienable rights of life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Throughout the speech, King focused on the future, not only awaiting his children, but all children, regardless of the color of their skin. Now is the time to make justice a reality for all of God's children, he said. Despite the struggles facing King in this time period, he continued to uphold optimistic sentiments for brotherhood amongst future generations. One of his most famous lines, I have a dream that my 4 little children will one day live in a nation where they will not be judged by the color of their skin, but the content of their character. This is a dream most parents have for their children as well. I have been fortunate enough to work with many children in this community throughout the Boys and Girls Club, as well as other volunteer organizations. And each one of them needs a role model to teach them exactly what good character is. In school, we've been taught character is what you do when no one's looking. For me, it's always helping out or helping those in need, because that's just how we make change in this world. At the Boys and Girls Club, most of the kids here, a lot of them sitting right in that row there, they look up to every single one of the junior staff, as well as staff members. And it's just a blessing to be able to teach them something, give them valuable life lessons. A lot of students these days are written off as hard to deal with or as troublemakers, but that's not due to their own fortune. That's due to other problems that we see in society. But I would hope by now that every person in this room looks beyond race and towards that content that Dr. King speaks of. Even today, many children and adults even are judged unfairly based on their skin color or by the language that they speak. This is exactly what Reverend King hoped to stop. Race is a socially constructed category that has sometimes used to alienate one race in order to benefit another. Fortunately, places exist where children can be themselves without worrying about judgment. For this place for me was my Boys and Girls Club here in Houston County. I've spent almost 12 years there, and I loved every minute of it. And the Boys and Girls Club has continued to be involved in my life, and I continue to give back to the Boys and Girls Club. It was about a year ago, as Kate mentioned, that I was named the Youth of the Year for the Houston County Boys and Girls Club. With this title, I was given the responsibility of telling my story across the country to audiences very similar to you, but to people who I did not know, but who supported me nonetheless. All the time I've spent at the Boys and Girls Club has been instrumental in shaping the person I am today. I learned life lessons, I found best friends, and I learned to accept my past. The most important lesson that I learned was when I was sitting in our Executive Director Kevin Lawrence's office this past year. We were working on my speech for state level, and I finally broke down and realized that the domestic violence that occurred in my home was not something to be ashamed of. It was something to embrace and work past. I chose to walk out a few years of my life because of the events that occurred during my family during that time period. Walking out those years meant also walking out the happy times during in my elementary and middle school years. As a result, my relationship with my mother was also very strained. But today, I'm very happy to say that we are very close. I came home last night from New York to find a letter sitting on my bed from my mother, and I'm going to just share it with you right now. Daughter, you mean so much. Your birthday tells a story about a daughter too special for words, about hopes realized, memories to keep, and dreams waiting to come true. Your birthday tells a story about how beautiful life can be when it holds as much warmth and friendship and love as yours does. That's why today is so important to everyone who knows you and loves the wonderful person you are. This is just a great gift from my mom when I came home last night. sitting here supporting me, as well as my club family and the whole community as well. At the state, regional, and national level, the friends I've competed with deserve the title just as much as I did. They are individuals who have persevered in struggles you couldn't even imagine. Luckily, each one of us had a strong support system at our Boys and Girls Club that continues to encourage us in all of our endeavors. At the state level, I had an amazing chaperone, Josh Quaid, and one of my best friends, Cameron Coleman, accompanying me. Both of these individuals have supported me throughout my Youth of the Year journey, and I'm thankful to have both of them in my life. Winning at the state level was unexpected, and along the way, I met club members who hope to initiate change, as well as the same changes that I would like to see. They also believe that all that is wrong with the world can be fixed by all that is right with the world. In our cases, we serve as examples that anything is possible, and that a little work and encouragement can go a long way. The next competition I attended was regionals in Charlotte, North Carolina. This was for the Southeast Regional title. Our Boys and Girls Club has been fortunate to have 4 of the past 5 state winners, but we have never clinched the Southeast Regional title. That is, until this past June, when I became the Southeast Regional Youth of the Year. I say that we clinched it because it wasn't just me solely who earned this title. It was the Boys and Girls Club of Henderson County and the community that is sitting here right now supporting me. Dr. King once said, "Change does not roll in on the wheels of inevitability, but comes through continuous struggle." The struggles I encountered along the way have made me more of an independent person who wants to create some change in this community, as well as influence the lives of children in a positive manner. I have found that I can be a spokesperson for this community while also giving my services to the Durham community. Recently, I was given the opportunity and responsibility to head a mentoring program at the middle school near campus. The middle school girls we mentor are all Hispanic and in need of some direction. Although we are attempting to teach them valuable life lessons, we are in turn learning about our culture in the next generation. I look at those girls, and I know that it's truly up to them to accept and use our advice. I only wish that more young adults would reach out to younger children. Regionals were quite an experience, but it would be nothing compared to nationals in Washington, D.C. For 5 days, I had the opportunity to meet many people involved with the Boys and Girls Club movement across the country. The ones I kept in touch with the most are the individuals I competed against. I use the term competed very loosely, because even though we were there for a competition, we were all winners. Some of the individuals are very, they're very important individuals, but they're also very important to me because they have been able to persevere over such great life struggles. One was forced to take care of their siblings and father, while his mother was on military duty. Another, in order to protect herself from the gang that pursued her in Washington, rode a train to a Boys and Girls Club 90 minutes away so that she could have a positive influence in her life. Another had very similar struggles to the ones that I have talked about in my speech, and another uses her poetry to express the struggles that she encountered. We each overcame struggles and continue to struggle for change, as Reverend King encouraged. We represent children in over 4,000 Boys and Girls Clubs across the country and serve as examples of what can go right in our society. I used to believe that all that is right with the world can fix all that is wrong, but now that I think about it, not everything needs to be fixed. Instead, all that is right with the world can change all that is wrong with the world. I have total faith that my friends who are now representing their respective regions are going to initiate some change within their communities. We all have that urgency to ensure that those who follow us have many more opportunities and the chance to really enjoy their childhood. We had a very condensed childhood, but we want younger generations to enjoy that very much. We were all able to bond over the fact that we were going to positions far beyond our years. Unfortunately, I know many individuals who have endured the same, but luckily my regional counterparts and myself, we found a place of normalcy that we can enjoy with just being a child. Reverend King also hoped that little black boys and black girls will be able to join hands with little white boys and white girls as sisters and brothers. And I'm happy to say that little brown boys and little brown girls are also included in that dream. striving for a country that is indifferent to race and accepts each individual based on his or her actions. I'm a strong believer in service as means of social change, much like Reverend King himself. This is why I continue to give back to the community. I was active here in Hendersonville, and I have joined colleagues who also use service as a means of social change. I spend at least one day a week at the John A. Western Girls Club in Durham, North Carolina. And I'm also a member of Alpha Phi United, which is a co-ed service fraternity. At Duke University, there is limitless amounts of opportunities and organizations to become involved with. And I am slowly finding groups that share my enthusiasm for service to the community. I've also found interesting classes and professors who are dedicated to teaching their subject. My favorite class so far has been Children's Contemporary Society. I am working toward a certificate in the same title, and so far many of the issues we have raised in class I have seen in our Boys and Girls Club. I plan to pursue a law degree, but I know the Boys and Girls Club will always be close to my heart. Our generation has sometimes been classified as a lazy generation for all that has changed. For the first time in a long time, young adults worked diligently in the 2008 presidential campaign. This country saw a rise in teenage and college involvement, making it a presidential race that would go down in history in more ways than one. Tomorrow's inauguration will honor America's first president of color. This will truly be a stepping stone to civil rights everywhere. Although race is a socially constructed category, tomorrow will mark a day where race will bow to equal opportunity. We have always been told that we can be whatever we want to be, but many believed before that was limited before the presidency. But now, as of tomorrow, presidency will be included in that dream for many children. As we sit here together honoring Dr. King's dream, always remember that he wished for our country to share a beautiful symphony of brotherhood. He yearned for a time when, with this faith, we will be able to work together, pray together, knowing that we will all be free one day. As you can plainly see from looking around this audience, we are reaching a time when we can join in brotherhood. I find that the city of Hendersonville has exemplified the idea of brotherhood. Whether it be support with local football teams or joining in ceremonies such as this one, we have something special here. Always remember that. I enjoy coming back home to familiar faces and friendly hellos. For most college students who are coping with the whirlwind of emotions associated with college life, home is the only place to really be oneself. People here understand one another and are always willing to give a helping hand. I only wish this was a characteristic of all citizens throughout the country. We are not granted the same opportunities, but instead, King urges us to remember, the important thing in life is to try to live and do the best you can. I have hope in our future because so many people have faith in me. I did not plan this past year to represent the Southeast region as we did the year, but I enjoy every minute of it. I received once-in-a-lifetime opportunity and made friends who I'm easily connect with. I've also learned more about myself and learned exactly how this community has shaped not just my life, but many lives of the children around. I am truly grateful to every single one of you, not just for being here, but for also caring about our future. Thank you for allowing me to speak for such an